Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, building experiences that connect, remove friction, and deliver insights. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Farah Ismail. Farah is an internationally recognized facilitator, coach, speaker, and founder of Interact Consulting. She partners with entrepreneurs and leaders who find themselves frustrated and unfulfilled despite outward signs of success. When they work with her, they reimagine their businesses, crafting a lucrative, purpose-driven enterprise that delivers more confidence, more connection, more revenue, and more meaning. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Farah.
Hi, Ed. It's wonderful to be on your podcast. Thank you for having me.
Well, first off, Farah, why do you do what you do?
And that's the big question, right? I think where I am right now in my life, it's why I do it is to create a legacy of inspiration and courage. A lot of my work has been, over my life has been primarily in two spaces, which is in the space of facilitation, helping organizations build courageous leaders, and in coaching women to reimagine their lives and their business. So this has been my longest career, and it has been the most exciting career because I've been there. I've been at a point when I couldn't recognize myself. I was completely stuck for many years and I really felt like I did not deserve to have a life that I dreamed of. And it was when I was able to tap into this courage that I had and make a huge shift in my life was when things changed for me. And that's when I built my life and my business from scratch, Ed, and I have not looked back. So I'm really passionate in doing what I do. And this is where I am today, really looking at making a difference one woman at a time and one organization at a time.
And share your thoughts on unlocking courage in leaders especially.
So when I say unlocking courage, first of all, let's look at courage. Today, when we think about courage, we think about why do we need it in leaders? So a lot of leaders think that courage is fearlessness. And for me, I was there as well. For a long time, I was telling myself that I'm fearless, Farah, until I went through a series of roller coasters and I realized that I'm not fearless, I fear less. And I think that's what changed for me when I realized that courage is a hard word. It's really about speaking your heart. And today, that's the most important thing in leadership, where you're able to bring your vulnerability. And vulnerability is really a strength. And it's never a weakness like we used to assume many years ago. So I think that's where the most of the work that happens today is whatever qualities we have as a leader. One of the key superpowers that a leader can have is bringing their courage, being able to see courage in others. And courage is not something which is like a big thing that you notice, someone doing some really huge stuff. It could be small things and speaking up in a meeting, saying, I don't know. I find that very powerful because when you have that culture, when you create that culture, you actually create, it's a ripple effect. It really helps people to be themselves and to bring their vulnerability and their authenticity to their work.
Can you give me share an example, perhaps, of someone that you've worked with that has really been able to unlock their courage, that's changed their lives in some way?
Absolutely. I'm thinking about a leader who, when she came to me, she felt that she was not good enough because she was trying to be doing too much, telling everybody what to do, holding their hands, supporting them, and trying to be perfect. And in that space, she was really extending herself and feeling burnt out. And there was a lot of self-doubt, Ed. She continued looking at herself like my English, my accent, and she completely forgot all the strengths that she actually had, what was within her. So while she was doing that, sabotaging herself, thinking like that she need to be this perfect person, when she worked with me, we sat down and looked at, creating a plan for her. And I think what really happened magically was when she moved from the space of thinking that she lacked something and that she needed to be perfect and the strong, not showing her vulnerability, to being imperfect. And that's when so much changed for her. And how she showed up as a leader after that was really being 100% herself, with all her flaws and everything. And I think one thing I must say is she inspires me, because every time she's constantly willing to look at the lessons she's learning through all these experiences. And one word. So when she started, she had this inadequate. I'm inadequate. I need to be perfect. I can't show that I don't know so much. And when she shifted that, she started calling herself a possibilitarian. And she completely shifted from the space of being someone else to being real, and believing that it will lead to incredible possibilities. And she's created that success for herself. So I think she's really somebody I admire.
Well, that's a perfect lead in for my next question, which is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
Oh my God. Okay. I wish I had one, but I can talk about the Shiro. I think we were talking about, this book that I got inspired by. I recently wrote a book, and it was a very interesting project called The Book I Read. It was inspiring stories of a book that changed your life. And I wrote chapter 15 in that, and it was taken from one of my heroes, and that is Dr. Brené Brown. And a lot of my life, my parenting, my coaching is inspired by her work. So Dr. Brené Brown, hands down.
And lastly, Farah, how can somebody contact you?
Well, I'm very easily connected on LinkedIn. So that's the best way to find me. And of course, I'll share my website details. And so LinkedIn, Farah Ismail. And I'd love to say hello and have like a conversation to see where you are on your leadership journey. And of course, they can connect with me on email and my website, which I'll share with you, Ed.
All right, Farah, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Wow, it was wonderful. Thank you, Ed.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.